Okay guys, so I'm here with Big Jake again for another installment of Kill the Knee Shield. Now we're gonna go into what happens if we've already killed the knee shield. Where do we go? The answer is chest to chest half guard passing, which is a terrific position, especially if you're an older athlete, because it gives you so much connection and the ability to put your weight through your opponent to the point where it is extremely uncomfortable for your opponent to stay in this position. And a lot of people struggle here because there are counters that your opponent can do if they're a good guard player to get their guard back. But we're gonna go over the stance that you want to make sure that none of those counters happen to you and how to start to dominate the upper body hand fight to get easy passes from chest half guard into side control or mount, whatever you like. So when we're doing this, we're gonna assume we've gotten past the knee shield, right? So however we did it, one of the ways that we showed in the Kill the Knee Shield previous installments, we got past the knee shield. So let's say we got past here, we're chest to chest, so we'll come over here a little bit. We're chest to chest with our partner with a crossface and an underhook. This is the most common position you guys will be in. So we're past the knee shield, he's not getting it back in, but let's talk about some ways he can get it back in and how we stop that. So if we're just like this, with no particular way that we're putting our legs, it's very easy for Jake to take his right arm and put it inside of my knee and go to a knee elbow escape. So he just pushes away, he gets his knee inside, and now, especially if he gets this knee in here, he's starting to re-guard on me, right? So we really don't want that to happen. So watch it again. He puts his knee inside and pushes his knee into the inside, gets it in here, and now he can start to go into like butterfly guard and things like that, or just half guard, regular knee shield half guard, which we already did all the work to get past, so we don't want that to happen. So we get into this position. Instead of just being square with him, I'm gonna turn my hips so that he can't, I'm gonna put my knee into his hip pocket so he can't bring his knee into the inside anymore. He can't even put his elbow inside my knee to make space and bring his knee inside, right? If he can make space and bring his knee inside, that's the issue. So I'm here, I have my head and arm grip, so I have a crossface and an underhook, and instead of just staying here, I'm turning so that I take all that inside space away from him. He tries to put his elbow inside my knee, it's like impossible, right? He can't start to get his knee elbow escape going. So that stops the knee elbow escape. So now we'll talk about another way that he can start to get me off of him or sweep the position. So if we turn this way, we talk about knee levers. So if I have my knee on the floor, my inside knee, my knee that's inside the lock on the floor, Jake can trap my arm and put his feet on the outside of my knee and lever me over. Some people call this a John Wayne sweep. One of you guys told me why that was. I can't remember. I guess he does it in a movie or something like that, but I call them knee levers. So we get here, I have a crossface and underhook. Jake can trap my arm, and now he's gonna put his 2 feet on the outside of my right knee. Yep. He's gonna point his knees towards the ceiling, and he's just gonna lever me over. There's nothing I can do to stop this because he's trapping my arm. So it's a very easy way for him to actually completely switch the position on us. So what do we do to stop this? Well, we're gonna take our knee off the mat, right? And the first thing that we did, which was to put our knee inside of his hip pocket to stop the knee elbow escape, is actually gonna just bring us there anyway. So once we get here, we don't want him knee elbow escaping, so we bring our knee into his hip pocket right here, make sure he can't put his elbow inside my knee. I own all the inside position over here, and now my knee is off the floor, so he can't do a knee lever either. My knee's not on the floor, he can't do a knee lever, right? So once we get here, this is perfect for stopping both of those. Now, the final thing that we need to stop is his ability to put a butterfly hook inside of this raised knee and start moving me around. If he can put the butterfly in, he's gonna make me base out this way, open my knee, and he can bring his other knee inside to the inside position and start playing butterfly guard. So if I'm here and I've got everything going for me, he puts this in, and now he's lifting me up, and I either completely fall off of him and he can get in top position, or he can just use it to bump me just enough to bring this knee to the inside again. So I'm here, my knee's up in the air, he puts his butterfly hook in, lifts me, and now he's got both knees inside. So how do we stop this? The way that we're gonna stop this is by turning into him, and we're gonna make it so that we kind of have our knee not only in the hip, but also slightly under his thigh. So when we have it under his thigh, he can't move his hips upwards and backwards in order to raise our level and start flipping us over. So the butterfly hook is gonna be nullified. And we can use this for butterfly half as well. This is a very interesting and unique principle that we can use here for passing. So let's say we'll turn the other way. Come over here. Okay. Yep. So once we're in this position and we've gotten everything else correct. We turn this way, he puts in the butterfly hook. Now, instead of just allowing him to do what he wants, which is to lift me over, I'm gonna try to take my leg and put it under his thigh like this. So once I put it under his thigh like this, I'm also gonna take a really deep crossface and I'm gonna reach to his opposite trap, his opposite armpit. So I'm reaching here, this deep. And then I'm gonna pull his head towards my shoulder, like this. So now, if he wants to bring me this way, he needs to look in that direction. And if he can't, because I'm cross-facing with my shoulder over his chin, he's looking in this direction. So now his body is kinked in two different directions, meaning he's not gonna be able to lift me. And furthermore, I have this leg underneath of his hip so that he can't rotate this one to the ground to start turning his hips over and then turning my hips over, right? So if I'm here and I'm not doing either of those things, he can just lift me and he's turning his hip downwards. He's turning this bottom hip downwards to do this. So when I'm here, even without grabbing the crossface, if I get into this position and I bring my leg underneath of him, go ahead, his butterfly hook feels useless because he can't bring this one to the floor to rotate his hips and also my hips, right? So just moving your position from right in the hip pocket to slightly underneath of his thigh is gonna do wonders for keeping you safe from the butterfly hook. And then you also add in this concept of pulling his head closer to you. So I'm here, and I have this crossface. Instead of just staying neutral where his face is up towards the sky and he can turn his head this way to look where he wants to sweep me, I take it and I pull it this way, and now his head is looking this direction. And now my knee is underneath. Go ahead and try to move me. It's extremely difficult for Jake to do this. So, sorry. There's some bad shoulder pressure as well. So this is not only a way to stay safe, but it's extremely difficult for your opponent to move. And it is very like constraining. They're gonna feel claustrophobic in this position.
Show from the other side of the...
Yeah, okay. So it's extremely claustrophobic for your partner. And as an older athlete, it gives you maximum connection, maximum stability, and the maximum ability to use your isometric strength and be able to keep connection and stay stable, right? So when we get in here, I'm holding onto the underhook and crossface. I grab deep into this armpit and I'm pulling it this way and putting my shoulder into his neck or into his chin so I can turn his head in this direction. He can't look the correct direction to sweep me the way he wants to go. So even if he has this, even if my knee position's not right, it's gonna be hard for him to complete it. And now I'm gonna show you guys something that'll really make your day, is once you get into this position, we wanna take our left leg and put it out as a kickstand even. So my knee is underneath of his hip, my left leg is back as a kickstand, so it's harder for him to even push me this way, so it's like a post. And I have this butterfly hook. I have this butterfly hook in here, so he can't lift me. Go ahead. He can't do any of those things. And the more he tries, the more I'm able to just put my elbow inside of his hip, push it down, and literally just step over into mount. So we don't even have to go through the hassle of trying to tripod and use our own butterfly hook to take our leg out. We can literally just step over as he struggles to flip us. So when we get here, one more time. We're in this position, we've taken the crossface, pulled his head towards us and make it look the other way. We're turning our hip in, we've got our knee under his thigh. He puts in a butterfly hook. He can't lift me, but he'll try. And as he tries, I just push it down and step over. It's extremely easy to step over when they overextend like that. And now we can go right into mount. We've already got an underhook, pretty much, because usually they're gonna have their forearm in your throat like that, trying to make space. So that's one really easy way to pass chest to chest. So let's talk about another way we can pass chest to chest. And so we'll go back to the other direction, where we're here, and our principle of our stance is gonna stay the same. So again, we're gonna be passing Nishio. We have a crossface and an underhook. I'm pulling his head towards me to make him look the other way. I'm turning my hip in. I have a kickstand out in this direction, so it's hard for him to start using butterfly hooks. Let's say he doesn't even put in a butterfly hook. If he doesn't, I'm gonna start turning in, and I'm gonna put my own butterfly hook inside of his thigh, right here. So I'm just gonna go like this, and then I'm gonna hike up. So even if he's holding on to me really, really tight, I'm hiking up, I'm just gonna start shaking. I bounce, little pulses. We don't do one big movement. We do little jumps like this until we get our knee out. As soon as our knee is out, we're just turning it over. And most people, what they'll tell you is to just take it out immediately. So if he's holding onto my ankle, we can push 1, 2 to take it out. And now we passed him. So one more time, this is just the classic tripod pass from chest to chest, where we get a crossface, underhook, pulling, we're getting into our proper position, our kickstand is out, and now He's not putting a butterfly hook in, so I'm just gonna go and put my own in. And now I'm starting to hike up. He's holding on, I'm hiking up. My knee is out. Now I can bring it down. He's holding onto my ankle. I can push one, push two, come out. Very easy pass to complete right there. But I'm gonna show you a different way to end it. So my preferred way to end this is to go straight into mount. And it's a very easy way to do this. So when we get here, we're doing everything the same. Our posture's correct. We're pulling his head into us. I'm doing it nicely for Jake here because he's under me for too long. So we're here. I put my butterfly hook in, and I'm starting to take my knee out. Once my knee is out, I just put it on the floor like I did a knee cut. And now instead of just taking this foot out, I put both feet inside of his thigh. Once both feet are inside of his thigh, I extend my knees off the floor like this. Once both knees are extended off the floor, I raise over his body with my two knees, and I just go to mount. Really, really easy way to move straight to mount from here. So instead of taking both your legs out, you put both your feet perched inside of his thigh, extend your knees off the floor, and then open your knees across his stomach. And then that puts you right into basically a dope mount, which is where your feet are not on the floor yet, but your knees are over them and you're effectively in a mount. But it's very hard for them to thrash around because your hips aren't even connected to theirs. So it's an extremely dominant position. And because you had the cross-facing underhook, you end in a mount with a cross-facing underhook. So you don't even have to do the work of when you're playing here and they're just like this, trying to make sure you don't get anything, right? So it's a really dominant position to get into. It's a very easy way to pass into mount from half guard. So now we'll show another way to do this where maybe you can't get a cross-face. Maybe they're a really good guard player and they understand that if their head is controlled, it's going to be very easy to pass them and pin them ultimately and start working for submissions. So if we have a player like this, we're going to go into a really, really effective way to basically trick your opponent. So when we get in here, I've got my underhook, but I can't get my crossface because he's blocking me. So go to an underhook. Yeah. I've got my underhook, but I can't get my crossface here. It's okay. You're just going to take your head and use a head block as a crossface. So I'm going to take my head here, and I'm going to put it as a crossface. So now this does two things. It works as a crossface. It gives me a free hand, and Jake also can't see what's going on in the lower body at all. So as we get here, what I'm going to do is take my hand away, and I'm just going to place it here. Do not touch his leg yet. If you touch his leg, he knows what's going on, but he can't see anything, so if I don't touch it, he doesn't know. And now we make a lot of space for him. So what most guys will think is that they can just open their legs and put me in a closed guard. Yep. So that's what he thinks he's going to be able to do. He's going to be able to bring his knee back in or put me in a closed guard. So we stay here. We're blocking his head because we couldn't grab it. He was stopping me, so I just put a head block in, and now I have a free arm, and I'm going to put it right above his knee. And now I make enough space to bait him, to make him think he can open it. And as he does, I just push it down, and he gave me the pass. I just push his knee down, and I come out. I can either take my leg completely out and go to a side control, or we can do the same finish that we talked about earlier, where we put both legs inside, and we go to mount like this, where we extend our knees and drape our knees over both sides of his body. This is a really, really effective way to deal with a very good guard retention player. So
here's a live example of the pass we just discussed with the hidden hand. This is me and a local black belt that's training at our gym, and he has really good guard retention, as you can see, especially with his upper body frames. So this is a scenario where that head block and hidden hand is definitely extremely useful. You can see it being used in this clip. He does a good job, even though I'm climbing the body, of pushing me back down to a chest-to-chest position where I'm really battling up at the top for frames and control. And now he's holding my hand, like we discussed, which is really talented, keeping me from getting a crossface. So I put my hand by his knee and don't let him feel it. And then when he opens his legs, I push it down right here. And now my knee is out, so I put both my feet back onto his leg. And then I extend my knees and drape both over his hips to go into mount, like we discussed earlier as well.
So one more time here. Chest to chest again. We're in a good position, but I can't get the crossface. I can't quite get this part. So I'm going to go to a head block instead. Hike my legs up, and now he can't see what's going on. He doesn't know my hand's right here. So when he tries to open up for a closed guard, I just push it down. I take my leg out. I can either go all the way out and go to a side control. A lot of times you'll get double inside position because he had this grip. I can go straight to double underhooks, which is extremely easy to go to him out because he can't bring his knee or elbow together on either side. So I can go to here, extend my knees and drape them over his body, or I can go to side control with double underhooks. So extremely dominant either way. And now we'll talk about one more facet, which is where maybe we want to pass with the tripod, but then they put their own butterfly hook in. So we both have a butterfly hook. So what do we do in this situation? It turns into a float pass, basically. So come here, we get here. We're in the same pass where he's locking onto my leg, and I start trying to go up for a tripod, or maybe he puts in his own butterfly hook anyway. So he just puts in his own butterfly hook. I can put my own butterfly hook in now, and now at this point I'm coming up, and we're in basically a float pass or a high tripod pass where his upper body is pinned, and I'm gonna be able to out-pummel his legs. So once we get into this position, I can take my foot, put it over his foot, and extend his leg out into a mount. So we go back, he puts his butterfly hook in, I put my own in, and now we come to this position, and I can come up. I can either pummel his leg, or I can step over it. So let's show it from this direction, actually. Come here, he puts his own butterfly hook in, I put my own in, and now we're 50-50 at the lower body. So what we're gonna do here, mine is actually worth more because I have gravity on my side here, I'm on top. So when he's here, he's got his knee inside my hip pocket usually. A little bit, yeah, like that. So if I go and I can just pummel my leg on top of his foot, now I go foot to foot and I just extend his leg away from his body into the mount. But a lot of times they're gonna follow you as you raise your foot over there, so you can't get that. So he goes back. He tries to raise his foot as I go. I can never quite get on top of it. But when he does that, he's bringing his knee away from his chest, which means I can just walk over it like this. So he can walk over straight into foot on the hip or straight into mount. So he goes back. So our two things we're doing here are pummeling on top if he allows us, and we can extend it into a mount, or go back. He's following me when I try to do that, and we just step around because he brought his knee too far away from his chest. So there's a really easy, simple system for you guys to follow where if you get a crossface and an underhook, you can go to these high tripod passes, and there's no butterfly hook. You can go to these high tripod passes where you just shake your knee out and then go into side control or mount. If he puts a butterfly hook in, we can either pin his bottom hip and just step over it, or we can put our own butterfly hook in and start pummeling like we just showed. And then if we can't get a crossface, we're gonna go to this, basically a fake out where we have our hand hovering over his thigh. We allow him to think we're giving him too much space. He opens his legs, and we just push our legs through to get into a top pin. Big Jake, I know, likes chest-to-chest half guard passing. This is a terrific option if you're an older athlete who has like a ton of isometric strength on their side. So give it a shot. Don't knock until you try it, and let me know if you like any of these passes and we can go into them more. This is Big Jake and Eddie with Crash and Flow BJJ. See you on the mats.
I'm stealing that crossface, dude. You were like almost putting me out a couple times.